Dengue is the main mosquito-borne viral disease transmitted by arthropod, with more than 50 million people infected annually and estimated 3 billion people at risk of dengue worldwide, particularly in tropical and subtropical regions. Dengue infection is asymptomatic for some cases. The person will not show the symptom. Anybody with signs will fall sick in 4 to 7 days after the bite. Infection is transmitted by flu-like symptoms. No antiviral treatment is available. Mortality rate can be high as 20% to 50% if the dengue fever is not treated. Dengue is a major health concern that could affect the entire world and not just Malaysia. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and hi, my name is Wan Shakira binti Wan Shukri and my supervisor is Madam Balkia Mokhtar. The title of my project is Assessment on Dengue Cases Using Susceptible, Infected and Recovered, or called as SIR model. There are two objectives of this study. The first one is to pre-process the data. The second one is to prepare the data using susceptible, infected and recovered model. So here the significance of this study. This research will establish a forecasting model to better foretell dengue more accurate in order to overcome this problem. It will encourage the government, especially in the health sector, to focus on those states that are critical in the dengue zone and need more observation to prevent the dengue. By doing this research, the public will be aware of avoiding anything that will prevent the mosquito breeding. So, the quality of life will be increased and condition of the citizen will be good. The data, which is secondary data on dengue for every state and federal territory in Malaysia, are directly from data.gov. I have made the cases as well as the number of deaths annually. Approximately 550,000 dengue cases diagnosed between 2010 until 2017. Due to the varied functioning of health services, report could be significantly miscalculated, mostly happen when the low endemic period. Dengue has become a significant global public health issue. Roughly 1/3 population of the world live in endemic dengue zone. Aedes aegypti and Aedes albopictus are mosquito and major carriers of the dengue infection and rely primarily on human blood. Furthermore, Aedes aegypti living in the city areas, while Aedes albopictus is found in ex-urban areas. But et al. In 2013 said that the worldwide incidence of dengue virus infection (DENV) has risen significantly in recent years, with epidemics concerning more serious cases. Outbreaks have usually begun in non-endemic countries from imported cases, so sufficient surveillance to identify early situation is essential. A study constructed by Glaser and Gomez in 2000 stated that other variables such as low coverage of regular supply of water, hygiene and sanitation, sewage, solid waste disposal, rainwater drainage and abnormal housing are appropriate factors for promoting the disease structure. Several studies have pointed out that change in climate may have significant implications for the epidemiology of dengue cases, as increases in temperature and rainfall may promote viral transmission and might contribute to the global expansion of the mosquito vector responsible for its transmission. Susceptible, infected and recovered SIR is one of the simplest compartmental model, and several models are modification of this common approach. Three components are comprised of the model. S, I and R denote the number of susceptible, infected and recovered individuals, and N equal to S plus I plus R is the total population. For infectious diseases that are conveyed from human to human, this model is fairly reliable and where healing gives enduring tolerance, such as measles, mumps, pertussis and rubella. One effective predictive analytic method that can be applied at a low cost is the SIR model. The model beginning can be attributed back to Kermit and McKendrick pioneering work in 1927. The fundamental reproduction number R0 is a central parameter in the SIR paradigm. So, for method of data collection, in this study, the data used is secondary data and was obtained from data.gov, which is one of the free online databases in Malaysia. The data was gathered and maintained by Ministry of Health Malaysia. The data was defined regarding the data accessibility that lasted from 2010 until 2017. Data on number of deaths related to dengue cases also obtainable. The number of dengue cases variable used in this study were stated in annually and divided into states in Malaysia. For this analysis, data on dengue cases will be extracted into the Maple software using plots tool and DE tool packages. Besides, the real data of vector host population will be extracted into the RStudio programming using the DSoft package. This framework starts from import the dataset, move to the model approaches, and then on the equilibrium point. Comprehensive model interpretation provided a quality analysis with an estimation of parameter, sensitivity, and credential comparison to predict dengue outbreak from a mathematical simulation. Throughout this research study, ordinary differential equation (ODE) system are used for deterministic model approaches. Here, the basic for the SLR model. There are 7 assumptions are observed by all the model considered. One of the assumptions is the model predicts a homogeneous mix of human and vector, which is mosquito population, such that a mosquito bite has an equal opportunity of spreading the virus to a vulnerable human in the population. The figure shows the interpretation of variable and parameters used in simulation of vector host. Bailey in 1975 was provided with the single serotype of the vector host transmission model. It gives the basis for pair SIR host and SI vector models based on the assumption. In the model formulation, a lot of equations used. For example, equation for human population, vector population, average transmission probability of an infectious vector to human, number of the infectious vector, and also contact rate. For point of equilibrium, there are stability. The stability is divided into 2 compartments. The first one is disease-free equilibrium, DFE. If R0 is less than 1, globally asymptotically stable. The second one is endemic equilibrium, EE. If R0 is more than 1, then it is locally asymptotically unstable. Here is the overview of dengue cases using Microsoft Excel. The bar graph with the blue bar show the dengue cases in Malaysia for 2017. Next, the bar graph with the red bar view the deaths caused by dengue fever also in 2017. The last bar, which is the orange bar, display the dengue cases in Selangor for 2010 until 2017. In vector host model, the variable and parameters are used for this model to predict dengue fever cases in Malaysia. The host vector represented the relationship between Aedes aegypti and the human. 2 simulations were developed using R software to identify the dynamic of each epidemic and to research various strategies. To regulate a disease, 2 distinct methods can be used. The original number of mosquitoes is changed and the number of susceptible people is altered. The figures show the result. The figure illustrates the graph for dengue cases in Selangor using SIR model. So, the initial conditions are the first one is N, the total number of dengue cases in Malaysia, and then S, the number of people who have the possibility to get dengue fever, and then go with I, the number of people with dengue fever, and the last one is R, which is equal to 0. In the current analysis, the model showed that mitigation steps help limit the propagation and flatten the rate of infection. With the implementation and use of the SIR model, hopefully the government can validate the model on the large scale, especially in the rural areas with less public health resources. Overall, it can be concluded that vector SI host SIR is competitive with the SIR method, but it should be noted that vector SI host SIR model discovered the SIR method for the human and the vector. The main objective of this study is to develop an epidemic model for predicting the curve of dengue cases. In creating the epidemic model, the research utilized the SSR method. In developing the curve of dengue cases in Malaysia with a homogeneous mix of the human and vector, which is mosquito population, this study showed that vector SI host SIR is a good method. So I have 3 recommendations for this study. The first one is obtain the correct criteria for predicting the curve of dengue fever in Malaysia that can enhance model accuracy. The second one is improve it by extending the SSR model using Bayesian Markov chain Monte Carlo estimation. And the last one is the use of a stochastic differential equation SDE for a larger population size is another method. Before I end this presentation, don't ever let dengue be at your surrounding. That's all from me. Thank you for watching and listening. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.